Now, all speech sounds are based on a controlled outflow of air from the lungs. When we breathe out, the air from the lungs travels up the windpipe and it leaves the body through the oral cavity or the nasal cavity. On the way, this air has to pass through the voice box, which we call the larynx. The larynx is there in both men and women. It is pronounced in the case of men, and we call it the Adam's apple. And so this air passes out, it goes through the voice box, and there are other, networks, and you have all the speech organs located. And so the vocal tract is something that we need to study. Now, when we look at how speech sounds are produced, we will have to look at the articulators, the speech organs. The organs which help in producing speech are known as the articulators. The verb articulate in English means to express. So the articulators help in the expression of sounds. You have active articulators and you have passive articulators, meaning the speech organs which can move. They can move, they can change their position. I can do that with my tongue. I can stick it out and I can put it in again. Now that is an active articulator. But whatever you do, you cannot, the roof of the mouth, along which so many speech organs are located. You have the velum and you have the back contains the velum. You have the roof of the mouth, which is the hard palate, and so on. These are passive articulators. They cannot move. So they are passive articulators. You can move your lips around. You can keep making faces with those lips. They are active. But your teeth, the teeth cannot come out on their own. You can push your lips back and then your teeth, they protrude. So the teeth are passive. The lips are active. The tongue is active. So some of these articulators are active and the others are passive articulators. Now, we have what is called the larynx or the voice box, and if we talk of it, it has cartilages, and within those cartilages there are soft tissue-like substances. Now these are the vocal cords and they can vibrate. There is a place between them which is known as the glottis. The glottis, the epiglottis. Nature has designed human beings so beautifully, and nature has provided a protection for human beings. You can sometimes, we greedily stuff in a huge piece of food into the mouth, and that has to go down the food pipe. Anything which goes down the windpipe can kill you, even a small thing. Just a small fraction, it can kill a human being. But what kinds of things we stuff into the mouth in the name of eating, and nothing happens to us? That is because this glottis, epiglottis, this thing forms a kind of a cover. The moment you put something into your mouth, you sometimes hear of small children, they've swallowed a 2 rupee coin or a 1 rupee coin or something. What has happened? The moment something goes into your mouth, that lid over the windpipe is put. Now nothing can go into that windpipe. So the child swallows the 2 rupee coin and it goes down the windpipe and somehow it finds its way out. Something happens. So the vocal cords, they vibrate and many sounds are produced when the vocal cords vibrate. Now, when there is a vibration, the sounds which are produced are voiced. They are known as voiced sounds. The vocal cords are vibrating and the sounds produced are known as voiced sounds. And all vowel sounds in English are voiced sounds. All vowel sounds are voiced sounds. When there is a vibration of the vocal cords and voiced sounds are being produced, at that time the glottis is closed. The glottis is closed in the production of voiced sounds. The vocal cords are vibrating. Now, many sounds can be produced without those vocal cords vibrating. Now, we have two kinds of sounds. You have vowels and you have consonants. And as we just saw, vowel sounds are produced with the vibration of the vocal cords and the glottis is closed. Now let's look at what's happening to the consonant sounds. Some of the consonant sounds are known as voiced sounds and some of them are known as breathed sounds or unvoiced sounds. That's why if you're not used to listening to, let's say, the English people speaking or the Westerners speaking, in their language, some of the sounds are breathed. And so it just goes that way, before that sound actually hits your ear, they've moved on to something else. And so that kind of sound is not clear to, let's say, people in India who are used to those Hindi sounds and they hit the ear so clearly. That is a missing element in English. So you have voiced sounds and you have breathed sounds. An example of voiced and breathed consonants, we saw that all vowels are voiced and the glottis is closed. Now, in the case of consonants, P, T, K. P, T, K. In Hindi, we'd call them perhaps patak. P, T, K. These are breathed sounds. And B, D, G. Badag. That is voiced. And you have there are 24, 24 consonant sounds. And many of these consonant sounds will be breathed or unvoiced, and some of them will be voiced. So you'll have to look at both independently. When breathed sounds or unvoiced sounds are produced, the vocal cords do not vibrate and the glottis is open. For unvoiced sounds, the glottis is open. There is no vibration of the vocal cords. Now, if we speak of the speech organs, we will have to see the places from where sounds are produced. There are specific places from where sounds are produced, and that will be the place of articulation. So we'll look at the place of articulation in the next video, and we'll see how consonants are pronounced. All vowels are voiced. Consonants, how are they pronounced and from where are they pronounced? They are pronounced from 8 different places, and we shall look at all 8 of them.